Listen carefully, because this is one of the most important questions any citizen can ask. Who really has the power to take this nation to war? And what stops a president from going too far? Now, on paper, the answer seems simple. The system was designed with what we call checks and balances, a structure meant to prevent any one person, even the president, from holding absolute power over war. But when you look closer, when you really slow down and examine it, you begin to see that the reality is more complicated. So let's break it down, plain, clear, and undeniable. First, understand this. The president is called the commander-in-chief. That means the president is in charge of the military. He can direct troops. He can respond to threats. He can act quickly in moments of crisis. But, and this is critical, that does not mean the president was meant to have full, unchecked authority to declare war. That power belongs to Congress. Yes, Congress. The Constitution gives Congress the authority to declare war, to raise and support armies, and to control military funding. So in theory, no president should be able to drag the country into a prolonged war without Congress stepping in. But here's where reality starts to shift. Because while Congress has the power to declare war, presidents have repeatedly taken military action without a formal declaration of war. And that's where the next layer of checks comes in. It's called the War Powers Resolution of 1973. This law was passed after the Vietnam War, when lawmakers realized the executive branch had expanded its power too far. So they created rules. Rules that say, if a president sends U.S. forces into hostilities, he must notify Congress within 48 hours. Then, the clock starts ticking. The president can continue military action for about 60 days without congressional approval, with a possible 30-day extension to safely withdraw troops. After that, Congress is supposed to decide, approve it or stop it. Now listen closely, because this sounds strong on paper, but in practice, it depends entirely on whether Congress chooses to act. And that brings us to one of the most powerful tools Congress has: money. Congress controls funding. No money, no war. If Congress truly wants to stop military action, it can cut off funding for it. That is one of the strongest checks available. But again, it only works if they actually use it. Next, we have oversight. Congress can hold hearings. They can demand answers. They can subpoena officials. They can expose information to the public. This doesn't directly stop a war, but it puts pressure on the president and shapes public opinion. And pressure can change decisions. Then there are the courts. But here's the truth many people don't realize. The courts are often limited when it comes to war powers. Judges frequently avoid stepping into these disputes, saying they are political questions meant for Congress and the president to resolve. So while the courts exist as a check, they are not usually the front line in stopping military action. Then comes the most extreme check: impeachment. If a president abuses power, seriously abuses it, Congress has the authority to impeach and remove that president from office. But this is rare. It is political, and it requires a high level of agreement among lawmakers. Finally, there is the ultimate check in a democracy: the people. Elections, public opinion, the power to vote leaders out of office. If the public turns against a war, it can reshape the political landscape entirely. Now here's the part that matters most. All of these checks exist. All of them are real. But none of them are automatic. They only work if they are used. And that is where the tension lies. Because in modern times, presidents often act first, and Congress responds later, if at all. Sometimes Congress supports the president. Sometimes it challenges him. And sometimes it chooses not to act at all. So the real answer to the question, what checks and balances are in place regarding the president and war, is this. The system was designed to prevent one person from having total control. But in practice, that balance depends on the willingness of Congress, the courage of institutions, and the awareness of the people. Because power in this system is not just written in law, it is exercised through action. And when those actions don't happen, the balance shifts. So the final truth is simple, and it is something every citizen should remember. The checks and balances are there, but whether they work depends on who is willing to use them. This has been a Sharri Plaza presentation.